friends, this video is on unit number 1, programming languages and syntax and semantic. So basically we know the syntax and semantic means syntax itself indicate the, we can say, the structure of the programming language, whereas the semantic is nothing but it represents the meaning of your programming language or your program. So in that unit we will see the how syntax and semantics are work, or how they are important in your programming language, right? So first point is software development process. In that we know that the software development process, that is SDLC, that is software development life cycle. So mostly it is used for in software development company or industry to design and develop the software which is high quality and reliable software. So how it will be work? So it indicate that when you are developing particular software, it is used to design, development and test the particular software is based on particular model, right? So this framework defines the tasks performed at each step. So we know the step, that is first one is requirement analysis, thereafter that software design and specification, implementation, verification and validation, after that testing and maintenance. So these are the steps which involve in the SDLC, that is software development life cycle, right? And each stage or each phase had its own task which is defined in SDLC. So these phases are used in software development process. By using these phases, the quality software is developed by software industry, right? So after that, second is, we can say that software development environment. So we know the software development process, it use the software development life cycle, but in that each phase they are using set of tools and techniques which are used to perform the task which is defined by particular phase. So we can say that phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, these are the 4 phases, or mainly these 4 phases we consider. So each phase has performed particular task, and in that task they use a set of tools and techniques to perform these tasks, right? So we can say that, consider this is the ideal environment for phase 1. So for phase 1, what is phase 1? It is nothing but requirement gathering and specification, right, or analysis. So in that what is the task of that phase 1? To keep track of requirement. This is the main task which is performed by phase 1, keep track of requirement, and second one is validate that requirement. So these two tasks is done in phase 1. So we can say that how these requirements are gathered and validate. So for gathering and maintaining the record, we can use the report, and this report is generated by using a simple tool. We can say that Microsoft Office is also used to perform the report or to design the report, and in that report we can mention all the requirement which is required to develop the software. Now comes to the phase 2. So what are the tasks which are performed in phase 2? So in that, first one is create the initial system design. So main task is create the initial system design, and after that, after refine to get the final design for the system. So these are the main tasks which is performed in the phase 2. So to perform this task, they use UML diagrams, and these diagrams are designed by using set of tools, that is, we can say that traditional rows or star UML. These are the tools which are used to design or to draw the diagram, UML diagrams, right? So now comes to the phase 3. So phase 3 is nothing but, we can say that coding or implementation. So the task which is done in the implementation phase, that is coding, and this coding is done by using different tools and IDEs, that is, we can say that NetBeans, Eclipse. These are the IDE which is used to develop the software by using Java language, right? So in that tool there are interactive editors, compilers, interpreter, debuggers. These are the tools which are used to debug, compile the code, right? Now next one is, we can say that phase 4. So in that phase 4, various testing tools are available, which helps in the gathering the test cases. So different testing after the implementation, next phase is testing. So testing, it may be the automatic testing or manual testing. So for that there are different tools which are used for the testing the code or testing the modules. So we can say that computer aided software engineering, that is case, is the domain of the software tool which is used to design and implement the applications, right? So in this way we can say that, in short, the software development environment is nothing but set of tools and techniques that are used in software development, right, or that is used in SDLC. So in each phase they can use different set of tools to perform the task which is defined in that particular phase. Now next one, we can say that language and software design methods. So software design methods and languages, these are the mutually depends on each other. Means suppose depends on language, we can select the which language which is suitable for that design, or based on that design we can select the language. For example, if suppose in some software design methods every task is accomplished by using object, then these task or these method which will be prefer for the object oriented languages, that is we can say that Java or C++ language is best for that design. Another example we can consider, for top down programming methods or structured programming method, it will be prefer C language. So in short we can say that the software design methods and programming language, they are mutually depends on each other, because design depends on design, we can select which language is better for particular design to develop the software or to develop the project, right? Then next we can say that the programming paradigm. So this is nothing but way to classify the programming languages according to the style of computer programming. So there are different programming languages, we can say that C, C++, Java, HTML, PHP, .NET, Pascal. So these are the different programming languages, and each programming language has particular style. So according to that style, these programming language are categorized into the particular category, and this is nothing but programming paradigm. That is, we can say that to way to classify the programming language, that is according to the style, these programming languages are classified into the different category. So we can say that the paradigm oriented, the language which is paradigm oriented is the language which fulfill the specific style or specific programming style are called paradigm oriented, right? Example C. So C language has structure oriented language, so it follow the particular style, that is structure, it is structure oriented. So we can say that this is the paradigm oriented language. Suppose if particular language which does not satisfy the particular style, then we can say that these language is paradigm neutral, paradigm neutral language. For example, C++. So C++ that satisfy the procedure as well as object oriented design. So it is neutral because it does not specify the particular or single structure. It specify the procedure as well as object oriented design. So it is the paradigm neutral. So this is the two categories of the programming paradigm. Programming paradigm is nothing but way to classify the programming languages according to the style of computer programming, and in that we can classify this programming paradigm is, first one is paradigm oriented and second one is paradigm neutral. Paradigm oriented is nothing but the language which fulfill specific programming style are called paradigm oriented, and the language which does not specify the particular programming style, this is called as paradigm neutral. right? So this is the structure or classification of the programming languages. They are classified into the different categories. So first one is procedure oriented. This is the particular style, or first style we can say that procedure programming, functional programming, abstract data type programming, module based programming, object oriented programming, generic programming, and declarative programming. So these are the style of programming languages, and in that category different languages are sort out. So first one we can consider the procedure programming. So in that C, COBOL and Fortran, so these languages comes under the procedure programming. Second one we can say that the functional programming. So what is functional programming? So functional programming is the programming language which is focus on the execution of the functions, or it mainly focus on the functional or function oriented programming, that is Haskell and ML language. And next one is abstract data type programming. In that abstract data type programming is nothing but the programming which comes under the CPO programming languages, that is we can say that assembly language which comes under the abstract data type programming. Now next one is we can say that module based programming. So in that module based programming, the programming languages is based on the modules, right? So based on modules, so under that category the modular 2 ADA, these language are comes under the module based programming. Now next one is object oriented programming. So object oriented programming, this programming category is based on the object. The languages which is based on the object, these languages comes under object oriented programming style. So in that example is C++, Java, ADA 95, right? Now next one is generic programming. This belongs to the again OOP and functional programming. So in generic programming, how generic programming is supported by the object oriented programming? You can consider the example of the C++. So in C++, how generic programming support? So in C++, template is used to support the generic programming. Again, last one is declarative programming. So in declarative programming, it's prolonged, we can say that again MATLAB, HTML. So these are the comes under the declarative programming. So declarative programming is nothing but the programming language. It shows the how to achieve the result instead of the steps or the execution step. It focus on the declaration of the statement. So this is we can say the description. Procedure programming focus on the procedure and function, right? The procedure programming which is focus on the procedure and functions, whereas function programming is used for mathematical functions. So mainly functional programming which is used for mathematical functions. And after that abstract data type programming. So in that programming style, it is used when abstract data type is unit of programming modularity, means it focus on the abstract data type. And next one is module based programming. So module can be primarily used to export the services. So main focus is on module of that particular programming language. And next one object oriented programming. It is all about the object, means everything or every task is performed by using object, is nothing but object oriented programming. Now next one is generic programming. In generic modules is not isolated, it exists with the object oriented programming or functional oriented programming. So it is not isolated, it is the part of the, we can say that object oriented and function oriented programming. Now declarative is nothing but declarative description of the problem instead of the algorithm implementation. It does not show that the how to implement the particular concept. It declare the result or declare the result of the particular statement.